Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series Winter Edition. I'm Nathanius, joined by In Control as we make our way through our European groups today. That's right. You thought you got rid of us, but you're damn wrong. How you doing, Jeff?
Good, but it's European group with
Yeah.
one P, no S.
That's true. Technically, well, we're getting through groups, in a manner of speaking. We went through
Yeah, but you said European groups with an S. It's misleading.
Okay.
I don't like it. Okay, we got the Americas later.
That's
right.
right. We're going through. All right.
Damn proud of
We
it.
save our S for the
Don't forget about the Americas.
Don't forget about the Americas. And speaking of not forgetting about
United
things,
States of Taiwan and the United States of China and the
United States of Australia.
yeah,
Man, can't forget
these
about
Americas, man.
It's my favorite. My absolute favorite. Speaking of things that are my favorite, I love barracks because I get to fly them across the
Oh.
map to scout. And if you like to
Wow.
do that too while you're building siege tanks and dying blink stalkers, you can pick up the war chest and get the awesome Special Forces barrack skin. It's very close to my heart. You can level up your war chest just by watching this very stream. Got ladder anxiety? Don't worry about it. You can still get all those skins. And then just kind of look at them all nice and pretty in your trophy case. Oh my god, Fear Dragon set the mouse sensitivity to Wumbo on this computer. The observing is going to be ugly. I'm just letting you know in advance.
He is a crazy man, that one.
Yeah.
The old Ravi, they call
He
him.
did get his coffee this morning. Now I can tell. Either that,
Yeah.
or it was always this speed, and this is just me much slower without mine now.
Either's possible, I suppose.
Yeah. I am excited for this match, though. Braddock's a fun guy.
Would you say you're excited?
Yeah, mostly because
Like
of
walking
Braddock.
over here, there's a little extra pep in your step because you're like,
Yes, there is.
Braddock
Because I
versus
think
Starbuck.
If anyone's going to go for some BC memes, it would be Braddock. He was one of the first people to corrupt me when I started watching StarCraft many moons ago from my crib and my literal infant crib. And I saw him massing ravens on, even before they switched it over to Shattered Temple. Back when they were like, no, we haven't invented
Shattered Temple. I remember that now.
They're like, yeah. Yeah, and then Braddock's just like literally massing ravens versus like White Raw or something. I'm like, this is the pinnacle of competitive gaming. And ravens were still bad back then, so.
Cass is in the observer slot. Is he one of the? Is he a caster? Cass?
You know what? I have no idea. It may be a moral support clause as well in this contract.
Could
Who
be.
knows?
You get one. You get like
Like
a parent or somebody that gets to watch. In this case, it's Cass.
Yeah, exactly.
A very nice. This is an Eastern European match, is it not?
Yeah, I
I
suppose.
believe so.
Yeah.
Starbuck and Braddock.
Yeah, I think this will be a good one. These guys probably have a lot more experience against each other as well. And TvZ. Who could complain about Terran versus Zerg?
Terran player probably.
100 people in chat are just like,
Yeah.
but it's
Certainly
okay.
a Terran player though.
Yeah, certainly a Terran. There we go. We're loading in to year 0 to kick this map. Okay, no. It's definitely on. I'm just gonna blame Fear Dragon full stop here. This mouse sensitivity is crazy.
I think you could give
Gonna be all over the place.
like the most expensive silk satin pajamas and put the Muslim in like a silk million count thread, just like
Yeah.
the most ridiculous bed ever, and he'd be like, mate, I don't mean to be a bother, but how come only 1 million? Why not 1.5?
If you were able to get it this nice, why couldn't you have just tried a little bit harder?
I'm not saying you didn't do great, you did wonderful, but at 1.5 I could feel the difference.
There's a tipping point, you know?
They'd be like, excuse me? He'd be like, I'm just trying to, I just believe if a Protoss player were to lay in this bed, you would have been like, here's 1.5, but here me as a lowly Terran player out there grinding every day, just trying to put food on the table for me and Alice. It's just a bit of a problem, mate, that's all.
Yeah. Tweeted from his iPhone 4. That
Yeah.
doesn't work anymore. In the northeast corner of the map, we have our blue Terran player. He is, I almost said Starbrack because his
Starbrack.
is Braddock. His clan is Star, and now I'm confused.
Starbrat.
I will make a mistake at some point with that. Oh, I can't. Can I find it? There we go. Okay. Who? In the top left, Fear Dragon. What did you do to this mouse? We have the Red Zerg player. He is Starbuck.
Maddox's a cool name. So is D-Jack. So many people have such cool names, man.
Yeah.
God. Americans suck in the name department.
Not really.
Name a couple of American players. Like, what's Neeb's name? Actually, he's European as well. He's pretty darn.
And you need basically European. Special's pretty much Korean at this point.
No, Special's name's cool too. Juan.
Yeah.
Tenya Carlos Lopez. That sounds like a.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's like a model or something.
He's got a good name.
Sick name, yeah.
He's got a good name.
My name's Jeff. Jeff Robinson. And I'll tell you what, if I can't get your taxes under 26%, I'm not doing you right here at the Jeff Robinson accounting firm.
I like that you finally became an accountant after that IEM video 20,000 years ago, where Spider-Man threw me under the bus.
That reference.
I'll never forget that.
That's Carmack.
I'll
man.
never forget Spider-Man throwing me under the bus.
Yeah.
We're still not cool.
There's a video, guys, on YouTube. If you want to Google it, or even just go to the IEM channel, I think. Can't be too many YouTube
Yeah,
videos.
get yourself hyped for Katowice with that one. There you go.
Carmack had me go around Toronto with
What
a
if you're
picture
trying to
of
the mouse and
Nathanius and just ask people these funny questions. There was a couple pictures, but one of them was of Nathanius. And this guy dressed as Spider-Man that's just trying to make some living on the street corner gave a pretty long answer of what Nathanius looks like.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, but we're still not cool.
Oh, man, the Reaper.
Rip.
Oh, man.
More like Ripper.
Got him.
Got him.
Well, that's actually a problem, because Starbuck's the kind of guy who, like, you could lose that, and then all of a sudden there's...
Yeah, it could be a big flood of lings coming across. He's going to send the first 2 Hellions. He's not going to wait at all. He wants to know exactly what's going down. Needs to see that base. He's going to build the safety Viking back home. But Ling speed is done. A couple of them are going to get picked off in the middle of the field. And Starbuck's going to start up his creep spread. Doesn't look like he's going to be doing anything as aggressive as we saw him attempt versus Harsum. Probably recognizes himself. Probably like, yeah, I play against Braddock a lot more than I would play someone like Harsum, and maybe feels a bit more comfortable in this matchup.
Yep. I think you guys broke it down pretty well. Harsum and Alazer are two of the kind of players that you do not go into that and say, well, I'm just going to do my most straight-up normal thing, and surely I'll just come out on top, right?
Yeah. We've seeded you into a bracket against Cyril himself. You're going to just 3cc build, right? Yes, yes.
Now, Harsum versus Alazer, I'm excited for.
That will be a dynamite series. I still think this one's got some great potential behind it, too.
Yeah. It's an
Well,
early
well-
armory here, by the way. What's that armory for, Nate?
It's probably going to be for the transformation of these Dune Buggy type characters into giant flaming mecha fighters. Yes, we call
Hell, it's about time.
they are the bats from hell.
They had good lines in Brutal War. You remember them?
Yeah.
Anybody got a line?
Yeah.
Brutal War had some edge to it. I was realizing that yesterday because I asked, I believe it was you, about the turn your head and cough reference.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh no, that's inappropriate for WCS. But you know what? It's not, because it's actually a line from their own game. So
Yeah, it's in the game.
I'm good. It's canon.
It is canon.
Cannot be. Nobody at Blizzard would be like, don't say that, because I'm like, you wrote it in your own game, bruh. Mike Morheim himself worked on that.
There's the famous Kerrigan line everyone likes to bring up about being the queen bee of the universe as well.
What did she
These
say?
Hellbats grab one of the queens there, going straight over to that third. There's no support behind this, but I guess it just did not feel the inclination that there was this attack coming.
Yeah.
And there's no Bane Nest, so it's just I'm streaming Lings towards a bunch of Hellbats in my third base, roasting and toasting.
The
drones! No!
Oh, he didn't do it.
Oh,
Man, that shot right there. We all saw it on that one.
we've all seen that picture. It's like when you're a vegan and you haven't told anyone in 5 minutes. Like that's that face you make. All those drones right next to your Hellbats and you don't attack them.
How many? Was it just 3 in total?
Just the 3 drones, actually.
What could have been? Yeah, these kids, man. I'm laddering. I'm out there trying to represent StarCraft well. They'll do like a Widow Mine drop, and then they'll, you know, I dodge it. Then they pick up 3 of the 4, and they're like, oh no, I gotta leave, Jeff. I'm like, cool. I'll just send all my probes back to the minerals, and then the one Widow Mine gets the shot of the sentry off, and I sit there, and I know that they're just so happy, and that's the only thing that gets me through that day. Is I'm like, look, I feel like crap, but that kid right there, there's an extra pep in their step right now. I guarantee it. And I did that for them.
It's called the reverse metagame. You know, people think when you don't GG, you're rage quitting. But if you don't GG and the other person thinks you rage quit, you increase the total amount of happiness in the universe because they feel such an elation at the notion of making you mad.
Yeah.
And in reality, you are mad, but
But if they know you know and you know that they know, then it's still the same thing. 2 Liberators kind of floating up there, going after that overseeing.
they don't really kill air units, but they're trying.
Doing 5 damage at a time here, it looks like.
They're trying. I think Overseers have 1 armor by default, if I recall.
Maybe 6 damage. Either
No,
way,
make it
it's
4.
bad.
But yeah.
It's a space probe or SCV just doing battle up there. It's hard to watch.
Basically. All right, we got a lot more Hellions moving across.
It's gonna be mech, my man.
Yep. And we've got the Hydralisks, we got the Baneling Nest. No Bane speed, the Hydra upgrades are not ready yet, but there's no Blue Flame, so it should be pretty hard to do too much here. Maybe pick off 1 or 2 of these Hydras would be really nice. Hellions, of course, are your expendables when you're playing mech in this matchup. Everything is about the gas units. Usually your Hellion count is not what's going to do you in. It can hurt if you don't have any, but they do build fast, they are cheap, and they build out your reactors, which you're not really building anything else out of. So I like seeing this pressure, I like seeing this harass from Braddock, trying to get a bit of map control, deny the creep spread, check for extra bases.
Get a Hydra too, some Lings, like you were saying. Even a Queen there, so not bad.
Hive is on the way, so
Well,
I mean...
I think we did miss a Liberator though.
Did we though?
Well, how did 4 drones die, my man?
Oh yeah, there's two Liberators are gone now somewhere.
So you guys will just have to imagine.
Observing this game is like, I don't know, I feel like I challenged Vin Diesel to a drag race and his family got hurt or something. And
It's all about family.
There's nothing I can do. I'm sorry. This mouse is way too fast and too furious. I'm sorry.
Well,
I will change the settings before we go into the next game. I did not realize.
did you see they're coming out with an offshoot of Fast?
Yes. Well, that franchise will never die. Will absolutely never die.
It's crazy when you hear that it is the highest grossing series of movies in the history of mankind.
Yeah.
Because that's like, that's it right there.
That's
And every time
you
someone
peaked.
gets ejected from their car, flies 600 feet, and lands in another car,
Put that in the
rolls in.
capsule and send it out into space for aliens to find.
Yeah, they'll be like, you know what? I think Mars is going to have some life on that planet.
No,
eventually.
Eventually, when the aliens do show up, they're just gonna be like, actually, can you just get the Rock's signature, please? That's all I ask for.
And he like will be so old and shaking that he can't because the steroids have just run their course through his body for like 60 years.
Maybe they'll cure him. Maybe they'll
Welcome
bring
to
him
Titan
back.
Games 4. How are you still like this? Get out of here. All right, 4 bases for Braddock, by the way. This
He's
is
got a lot of tanks, got a lot of Hellions. Vipers could be his undoing, though. Only takes a cheeky blinding cloud or 2 over the center mass to ruin your day, because he's going into big factory. He is not adding starports. He is not thinking about, oh yes, I'm going to get some Vikings in case there's broodlords. No, he is gearing up for what could be maybe big into Thors or Cyclones to supplement that.
But also he is making Vikings.
Yeah, well, 2 at a time is not really going to cut it, in my opinion.
Does that not count as making Vikings to you?
No, no. 2 Vikings at a time.
Anything
Like,
less than 6 is child's play.
Zerg player builds 20 corruptors at once. It's like, I'm just going to trickle out these 2 Vikings every 34 seconds for the next 12 minutes, and then we will engage in a battle where you'll parasitic bomb them, and they will all die in about 12 seconds. No. You need more starports if you're going to play the air game.
All right, both these players making for a pretty exciting match here. Both of us are literally shaking with the anticipation of what's about to happen here.
Yeah.
And the Greater Spire is about to finish, and like Nate said, it's just 2 Vikings at a time. So what I'm really worried about is that this attack finally takes shape at like a pretty unimportant 5th base or whatever, and then Broodlord's hit and he has to retreat, loses the Vikings, and the game just ends. And then I go, what am I doing with my life?
I think the most interesting part about this game right now is actually these Hellions, because there were no Banelings here. He literally just got almost all those Hydralisks that were up front.
The Queens are like, let us respread our creep.
Really big pick off there, because that cuts a ton. There's only 5 Hydras on the map now, and he's trying to build Broodlords, Corruptors, and Hydras at the same time. We got to run into larval limitations soon. Really, as you said, Jeff, it's going to come down a bit to those Broodlords, and you know what? Maybe 2 Vikings are the answer if you're going to lose 20 Hydras to the Hellions like that.
Yes, again, if it's 2 Vikings, man, it's definitely 4 by now.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, there's the Parasitic Bomb. Goes for the spread. Oh, he used 2 Parasitic Bombs. Okay. There's the Abduct.
The Vikings are gone.
Well,
It
a
is
couple
only
more
4
starports. Just saying, if you had built 2 starports instead of the extra 3 factories right there,
Hydras are bold.
he would have punched it in right now.
Look at Braddock though. He's like, I don't care about your 4 Broodlords.
He's got his SCV. He had his SCV repairing.
I am pushing forward, he says. 1 Viking standing against the tides of the Zerg.
One man, one desire to destroy the Zerg brood, and then
dies. Oh wow, no, that Corruptor turned
Still
away.
that fight for you.
Corruptor turned away. Look at that, it's beautiful. Poetry in motion and control. Gets it, got the Viper with the Viking. You know what, maybe I'm just not respectful of the 2 Viking at a time strategy.
Well, I mean, to your point, though, I think
I
it would've
do
been
like
better if
the
there's 4
Thors.
coming out.
I do like the Thors more. Thors are great. They were really sick versus Broodlords in this meta. That 11 range anti-air is no joke. They absolutely pummel them.
What's the range of the Broodlords? 11 as well?
No.
Like 10?
No, it's, I think it's 10, yeah.
A plebeian 10.
Broodlord range has changed many times over the years in Control.
It's building 4 Thors at a time.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
That's the way to do it. At some point, you can hit critical mass of Thors, where even if they abduct all of them, you can't kill them. So they end up just coming in and then Thor's 2-shot Hydralisks and pretty much obliterate everything that isn't roaches very efficiently.
All right. Starbuck is on 5 bases, and still just the 4 for our Terran players. So that's not a problem now, but I feel like this next fight's very important because if somehow that next attack gets stymied, then we're talking about a Terran that's falling back on 2 bases or so as the main and natural kind of dry up.
Yep.
And it's hard to replenish that Thor.
It's
mech,
dangerous.
excuse me. And it's not the minerals. So the mech players always float minerals. It's the gas.
Yep.
It's the smell.
Thors are pricey
There's
boys.
that
He hasn't transformed all of them into the high-impact payload, which I do find a little curious. There's okay, he's now building Banelings. It's going to say Hellbats are really crucial with the Hellion support to keep Broodlings off of the Thors. SCVC repair is really nice as well.
I do like that he grabbed a chunk of SCVs, because even in this late game, too, you can kind of dial back the SCV count.
So the Hellion
Potentially have more orbitals.
A little bit of Hellion Harassed and all that. The Maserati that is my mouse is flying all over the place. There is the big blinding clouds on these forces, and a few of these Thors are still in their splash anti-air mode, which is not going to be very useful. Great abducts pulling these forces in, and the siege tanks need to target fire down on those Hydras. He is killing a lot of them, so we can see the Thors absolutely obliterate the Broodlords, but the problem might just come down to there being too much on the ground.
Yeah.
After that brutal blinding cloud that did hit earlier. He will,
Wow, one shot, though.
barely picks him up.
Now, a 5th command center is floating down to the bottom right, and that issue we talked about is starting to take shape, because that's not a planetary at the base that's under attack right now, by the way. Nate's going to show us in a second here, yep. So this base just gets dislodged, and that was the 3rd. Main natural drying up. Main basically fully dried up. This is not a planetary either. This would be really bad if it's not planetary. No, it is, of course it is.
He has to kind of spread his force out, come down here, deal with this Hydralisk.
And if you look at these supplies, about a 30 or 40 supply advantage here for our Zerg player.
Which for mech is not game-ending yet at that point.
It's more the tech, though, right? Like, he's got to make Vikings out of fear of the Broodlords, and he has to make enough tanks, because like we saw in that last battle, it was just not having any tanks. The Thors were fine. They killed all the Broodlords, but then lost the ground battle, as you said.
He's not going into Broodlords, though, in Control. This is kind of
But he could.
Yeah, he could. He's making a switch into Infestors. I'm not entirely sure. I feel like he did his job in terms of killing enough stuff. Now
He's going to win right here.
just fighting straight up like this might be the only way he could lose, though, because Thors contribute a lot to a fight like this. He's not going to be able to break him.
He didn't break him, but he's the guy that can afford this. Actually, as I say that, the lower right-hand side actually got established. Something went down there and cleaned that up.
There. Yeah.
He's in.
Mule Party. Let's go.
And 3-3 is about to finish for the Terran player, too, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
Braddock's in that very weird situation where you lose all those SCVs, and he's like, well, got 2,000 gas in the bank, and I'm a mech player, which is about the worst possible scenario.
Yeah.
Try to spread out the Hellions, and I got to say, at this point, you really don't want to throw these away. You're going to need everything to try and stop what's coming next. Neural Parasite is being researched as well, so we're going to see probably some mind control on those Thors.
And Burrow.
I think we may see Starbuck style on Braddock if he's able to get the engagement that he's going to be looking for with these upgrades. More Corruptors are coming out now too. And a man who is desperate for money does not have many scans in Control.
No.
I've always been a fan of the big Thor Hellion play, but at this point it's just mostly because he can't afford to put the mineral investment down on those Thors in advance. And you do need a couple of siege tanks. If you can target fire down the Infestors, then you can still play defensively here if there's not a bunch of Vipers or Broodlords. We do have a couple of Broodlords being added to this now, though, and it's not going to get too much easier. But these Hellions can do a lot here with the Planetary. Like, you can just push this with the Hydras.
You find the Hydras, and they're off creep, too, so there's not really fight goes bad, which it's starting to.
The Banes are basically the only concern there. Once those are gone, you can kill all these Hydras pretty cost effectively.
Starbuck's not the richest either. We've seen him do like basically nothing but win fights, but the little run-bys, getting a few drones here and there. There's only just now a 6th base being attempted here, so Braddock's not out of it yet.
No, doing a good job. It doesn't seem like Starbuck's been able to capitalize on the opportunity he's had to take bases and make money. And Braddock's mineral income is starting to go up.
By 12 o'clock. Yeah. Nate was just about to show. There it is.
Doing a good job roasting the drones down. Braddock's actually gotten his worker count back up towards that 50.
Is he
Closer
just
to
about to win here? Does he just win? I mean, there's no...
He's going to Neural Parasite Thors, I imagine. They will kill his Vikings. He can also just use Abduct as well. Weirdly enough, the Hellions are like the game changers in this fight, but he shouldn't be able to get away with Thors. There we go.
No.
Assimilation successful.
With the Eastern European one?
No, that's just what the Thor says when it gets. I guess we're going for Austrian, right? I don't know. Essentially.
Oh, that was your Austrian?
I was going for my Thor,
Wow.
my neural parasited Thor impression in control. How could
Oh.
you not tell?
Jeez. It's early, I guess, huh?
Yeah. I mean, you just use your normal voice and you say assimilation is successful. But you say it very sadly. All units sound depressed, which I guess you would be if a giant tentacle just went into your brain and took control of your body.
Well, no, it wouldn't. Probably make you happy about it.
Do you think the hive mind would allow you to feel joy whilst under their crushing demand of your brain?
I don't think it's joy per se, but certainly not like depression.
I don't know. The SCV has the most sad sounding mind control voice line.
What's it say?
No, he just says the same thing as everyone else, just sounds very sad. Sounds the saddest. This is why they bring me on to cast, in case someone gets neural parasite.
The game's slowing down here a little bit.
Hellions still just kind of sound like hillbillies when they get mind controlled. They're not that sad. Yeah, we're just kind of waiting to see when the big fight happens. Because Starbuck has not really ramped the economy, right? That's what we were talking about, where it's like you can't just slam down the H key, max out on Hydras, and try to push. And this army is weirdly good against Broodlord Hydra Viper because it's just a ton of Hellions, which doesn't seem like it would work, but at this point you want to get like an insane number of Hydras or maybe some Roaches back into it.
Yeah, I feel like the Infestor's the X factor though, right?
Or
Fungals.
Yeah, Fungal will be big.
The Neural is a problem.
With the Banelands. Yeah, the neural parasite's going to be the big thing.
D9. Let's go try for Alien Run by over here. Starbuck's just kind of happy to cover up half the map and creep. Establish those bases like you're saying.
Yeah.
Watch out.
It is a big map. It's one of those ones that gets split easily because you have, of course, consider that the composition that Braddock is doing is not only a little bit weird, but it's very quick. You can get those Vikings around, you can get those Hellions around, and with how big Year Zero is, those Broodlords are slow boys. It's kind of hard to get him into a good spot. Now, if he was able to dive on these Infestors, that'd be insane.
So many Hellions.
Yeah, we are at a total of 29 Hellion Arenos. That's pretty sick. And he's going to send some more to that north side. Gets 5 more drones. There's the Parasitic Bomb with the Fungal Growth combo. Oh, Terrence is like, I'm going to throw these down even though I don't need them. Just kill them.
You got the SCVs there.
Yeah. Terrans are terrifying.
Against air in particular, yeah?
Yeah. Them rocket launchers. We ate your Marine, gave him a better gun, and spat him back out. Lore-wise, that would be the explanation.
All right.
Infestor Viper Hydra.
The Super Army. This is the true Golden Armada.
Well, Braddock is doing something that many mech players who would complain about being in this position wouldn't do, which is he's getting ghosts. Didn't even realize this. He actually took a bunch of his SCVs off of mining his gas because he was just floating so much earlier. And did not resaturate all of them. Not the one in his natural expansion anyway. How much is sitting there? He's got about 1,000 gas just chilling in his natural that he's not really mining. That's awkward. Ship weapons level 2 on the way for Braddock. And a little cheeky Ling run by is going to get swatted down there. SCV patrolling on the southeast side. And Starbuck is maxed out. It's kind of tough to make the play as we were talking about, though. This is a huge map. There's a sensor tower witnessing the north half of the available playing space.
Nate, I could listen to you drone on that mech forever. You know that?
Ask me anything in Control.
6 Hellions versus 8 Hydras. Who wins?
If they line up, Hellions win pretty easily,
Do
actually.
you like questions like that too? Because it's like in a vacuum that doesn't make any sense at all. You have to be like, well, you know, how are they hitting? What are they?
Well, the thing is, if you trade all 8 Hellions and you only kill a handful of those Hydras, because of the amount of minerals versus gas on the map, in terms of the unit value, it's still good.
That's super interesting, Nate. But we're about to have this big fight here. Take it away.
And Fogo Grow's going to land on those Hellions. Those boys revving those engines to get out of position as that command center wants to land. But there are some Spore Crawlers being added. Now we do have the Ghosts as well that are going to be trying to come in and land those sweet, juicy EMPs all over those Infestors. They did go on a bit of a diet recently, so they are more susceptible to the EMPs. And there's the Ghost coming forward, throws the scan down. One EMP is going to whiff. And the Broodlords are going to begin the engagement in Control.
Not too bad there, Renee. As the final goes in the front line here. The Spine Crawlers, unfortunately, not putting up much of a fight here against this fully mechanized force. He's going to push forward here. A lot of confidence, a lot of hubris here. The Ghost try to land the EMPs to get about a half of the Infestors.
He gets a lot of the Infestor energy there, and he's going to go for the pew-pews.
Oh, wow. Sniper shot, huh? Good
Yeah,
sniper
looks
shot there.
like he's got about 6 neural parasites left, unfortunately, which is just enough for all of his Thors and a few of the siege tanks as well. There's a big Fungal Growth going to land on the army. The Broodlords begin the engagement. The Thors are so thick, they are stuck behind the lines and having a little bit of trouble getting to the action.
No, that's certainly the case for sure. And here comes the big thrust of Zerg here. A veiny attack coming in on top, even taking over some of the Thors. Those aren't your friends no more, my friend. GG's called out from Mr. Brad Alk here.
And Starbuck takes game number 1.
That's what people want.
That is what the people want.
But you're not going to get it ever again, you understand?
No.
We're going to go back to our golf broadcast of a 30-minute mech game where both players are just vying for position.
Yeah. Oof. Well, tough game. Tough game there.
It was a tough
I mean, Braddock did try to vary the army composition a bit. At some point, you do want to throw away more of the Hellions just so you have the supply to build more other units. But that many Broodlords is very difficult to get through. It's when you like to see that battlecruiser transition. Let me see if I can find where.
What?
your dragon
Really?
is.
Against Neurals and stuff like that?
Did you know in Control that if a battlecruiser uses Yamato gun onto an infestor that attempts to neural parasite it, it will not cancel said Yamato and you will kill the infestor mind controlling you?
That's also true with Disruptors?
Is it?
No.
Okay.
We don't get anything like that, Nathanius.
Thank you for that. Wait, the mouse sensitivity's at 38%. What did he do? Okay.
Imagine a world where we go back in time and all the Terran players that are so good about kind of communicating their concerns about the game of StarCraft actually played Protoss.
Well, we would have gotten the mothership core in Wings of Liberty then.
We would have got
Yeah.
yes, we would have accelerated the
Would have.
timeline by several years.
The shield battery would have been put in the
We would
game
have shield batteries
in
and
hops.
mothership cores right now, I promise you. And we'd have Archon toilets. It would be the funniest. And still players would be like,
I still wish we had that. I miss that.
it's not that we've won the last 19 GSLs that you should be looking at. It's that the best players in the world play Protoss.
Would the Muslims still play Terran?
No.
No, probably not.
But then the Protoss, this is the thing though, then the Protoss players would play Terran, and you'd have people like Showtime, like really
So,
going ham.
yeah,
Neeb, really
yeah.
going ham.
You'd have like your then M. Canning. He'd be like the god of. What would he be? Widow Mines.
He'd be
He's
like
always
the-
gets sickest mind shots somehow.
Rotterdam as a Terran player.
He just wins every game of Mass
So
Viking.
nice,
It's
so
like, what is
passionate.
going on?
But every stream is just like, mate,
gonna open up with some cheeky
I love this game, but I can't believe my MMR. It's 6,500 MMRs, not 7,000. Anyways, these are all inside jokes. Guys, it's day 3. We're having a good time. Hopefully you are as well. If you're not, pick yourself up. Get the food you like. Get a drink you like. There's a lot of StarCraft coming up. This
I'd say
this is the lower match. We got more StarCraft. Tons of it.
whenever I'm not as hyped up as I want to be,
Yeah?
get an Italian ice. Get yourself an Italian ice. Treat yourself. It's Saturday.
Italian
Stop
ice.
taking things too seriously. Have some fun.
Nate, you're
and,
thinking in the box. Go
put
get
us
a
on mute.
pizza. It's Saturday. You can.
Well,
get a pizza. At
This is
9.
the European part of the broadcast, and pizza's
It's
definitely
5
not the
p.m. over
strength
there.
from a lot of the places.
It's 5 p.m. over there for
Probably
him.
get better ice, honestly. Anyway, in the top left, we have the blue Terran player. He is Brattok.
What time do you think it's over?
I can't think about pizza this early in the day. I can think about an Italian ice, though. I could really do that. I could go for that.
Yeah, It's because you're weird.
Why don't you introduce this guy?
Starbuck. I haven't talked about this whole WCS winter, but man,
What?
we had that like disconnect, and you guys literally reintroduced the players after the disconnect. Getting
Oh,
back into
yeah.
the same-
Yeah. That was good times. To be fair, you told me.
I know. Well, I'm
kidding
just
me.
I'm over here. I'm
I'll
just
put it.
chaos.
Don't worry. Don't worry. My therapist is aware. It's
Yeah.
mine in control. Got
In
links.
control or mind control? Who knows?
That's the question I ask myself every day on this show.
Can't spell mind control without in control. Get it?
Can you? Yeah, yeah. Well, you,
Cannot.
yeah, you just remove a few letters and you're there. How about that?
Okay. So if you're Braddock, last game goes down the way it does.
Battle Cruiser Rush. Let's do it.
Well, I'm just saying, because this map is actually a pretty darn good mech map, generally speaking. You can get 4 bases fairly secured almost off that high ground, and then the 5th base.
Well, then again, I would have said the same thing about Year Zero, and look what happened.
Do you think Year Zero is a good mech map?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do.
I would agree. I think for like the expanding purposes, it feels like pushing across that map seems really hard. Every time you see a Terran player do any kind of sustained
Yeah.
push, it looks really tough.
I don't disagree with you, but the army that Zerg needs to beat mech is also really bad at moving across the map, so it's hard. It's like, it's not.
Both suck right now.
Yeah, yeah. The Ling side swipe, by the way, gets the delay on the command center. It's going to pull back as the Reaper comes home. Really important, of course, to have that good micro with the Reaper. Also getting out that extra Marine to make sure the command center doesn't get canceled. That delay is it's pretty brutal, though. Never feels good to have that command center slow down. It's like 15, 20 seconds lost on the construction time.
What to you is the most annoying try-hard micro in StarCraft? When someone does it, it has very little effect in the game, but they do it every time, and it's kind of annoying.
It's always the probe harass at the start.
Probe harass?
Actually, I'll go a step further. It's when another Terran player sends the SCV and they try to do the same level of harass with the probe. I'm like, you know that SCV's not healing, right? When I pick a different SCV to poke him and you start running in circles around my base, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, that's
For me, and it's not annoying so much as it's like so StarCraft that I've kind of accepted it,
greased
but
pig.
it's when a Reaper throws a grenade in a situation where
Oh, it's gonna die
nothing
anyway, and it will,
following
like,
up,
it will
it's dead.
do nothing.
Yeah. It's just chucking the grenade because that button's available, and it's like, why not, I guess?
Like, if I can use it, I should before I die.
But
It literally does nothing. Oh, I get that. Oh, especially versus Protoss, where it's like, I'm gonna die behind your mineral line, but I can delay your probe mining by another 0.02 seconds.
well, then in that situation, it's like that has an actual purpose. It's when the Stalker's like moving in to take the final shot, and they chuck the grenade just to be like, yeah, well, now you're in the air. I like it.
Right. 3 command center build out of Braddock, by the way. He's going for bio. He's gonna be getting the stim. He's gonna be building a lot of boys with guns, trying to bring it to the Zerg player. Still opening with the Hellions though. I always like Hellions for that early map control on TvZ.
You have
Always been
to.
a fan.
Every TvZ game where they don't open up Hellions and control the creep a little bit, I feel like it's just insane.
And I remember the good old days where 4 Hellions kept the Zerg completely locked in on 2 bases because
know,
Queens literally could do nothing.
I remember a day when
It was much more balanced back then.
feared things.
Zerg couldn't take their third until they had Mutilisks on the map. It was good days.
By the way, everyone's assuming we're just teasing to Muslim. We're not.
No.
That could be any British person right there. That could have
Yeah.
been
I was going for Wardy
Hollow,
right there.
Wardy.
Yeah. Actually,
I like Wardy's stream. Man. He's got some zip to him.
he's a
He's like kind of he's like a quieter, slower solo caster. And I've learned because I'll be like listening to him. He's casting. It's fine. And it gets quiet. Totally fine. Then he'll be like, and then someone in the chat will be like, why does he just make Colossus instead of Storm? And Wardy will be like, mate, if you're in here talking about that, I don't want it. Get out. Just get out. All right. Take your rubbish and get out. Anyways, so it is Colossus, and the Colossus are good. Then he goes on.
Yeah. Oh, I love
Imagine how fun it would be if you attended like a soccer match, and the commentators are just like, you know, red card is issued. This is going to be a problem for them on defense. Wait, hang on. There's someone in the stands. They're picking their nose. Can we get a zoom in? Oh my God, what an
He
idiot.
says the refs are blind. These queens are going to get picked off, by the way.
Bad.
Stim timing is hitting for Braddock.
He doesn't actually have an army. He's making
Going according to plan.
banelings right there.
Focus the Banes. He's almost there. If he gets these Banes, that's
This game's just over.
pretty much it.
Wait, the Spore Crawler. If it can root,
It's
goes!
Medevac taking health. It's down to the
Nick
orange hit
Micro.
points, and the Medevac is going to come back. The other Medevac coming in to heal, and it's down to red hit points. Going to be able to pick off one Medevac. Can I get another Medevac on this Spore Crawler? Yes, I can get two Medevacs on the Spore Crawler. And the Hellion is going to get pushed back by the Zerglings, and the drones are back to the mineral
my
line.
God, the drones!
But it looks like Starbuck is going to be able to defend this, and he does not once again capitalize on having a bunch of stacked drones next to his AoE flamethrowers of death.
It's always so funny when a Zerg holds off an attack like that with just Lings, Banelings, and Queens. You look at the supply and you're like, oh my God, he's up 20 supply.
MVP of this game, by the way, in control.
2 kills. It got
did
both
root,
the Medevacs.
and it got both Medevacs.
You guys were talking about this yesterday, the idea of becoming a building, canceling, then becoming a building again.
Could you imagine that?
No.
Could you imagine being told to contort your body into like this thing that's going to make you lose any form of sentience you had?
Well,
And they're like, actually, no, stop. Go run around a little
not
bit
even
more.
that, dude. It's the. If you ever watched the show My 600-Pound Life, like there's the people that lose, like, I lost 400 pounds. Yeah, you didn't lose 400 pounds of skin. That stuff has to go
Yeah,
somewhere. And
that's-
if you contract yourself and protract yourself into a building and back, listen.
I was 90% towards being a hatchery.
Yeah.
Someone was ripping me to pieces the whole time, and then I undid it.
Imagine
lost
receiving
all
the
that weight.
synaptic hive mind message. It's like, sorry, we're done. And you're like, excuse me? It just rips. Blood explodes everywhere, and you're back to drone form, but you're a saggy,
Just
like,
watch a Zerg building get canceled, and imagine
Yeah.
being that drone. It's really messed up.
terrible.
And they said StarCraft 2 isn't as visceral as Brood War. Come on.
Oh, it's terrible.
That's pretty horrific.
Yeah.
And these Zerglings are going to spill in.
Oh my God.
Ooh, the door is lowered, and we got a big Ling run by over in the natural position. The same time, the Banelings are going to blow up all the SCVs in the third base. We got 24 SCVs going down. Can I get 25 SCVs as the Zerglings continue to chase down these Marine siege tanks? Going to hit them as they are surrounded. Gets a big juicy shot in his own units. No!
Oh, no! Oh, my God!
That was glorious.
Right now,
Whatever can go wrong.
Braddock at 32 years young is hating this game. He's like, come on.
Sweating.
Give me some ladder points. Some
Sweating at these
WCS.
Banelings right now.
It's over, man. Well, it's not over. I've said that too much.
Terran player with 3 orbital commands.
Never out of the game in control.
Look at his natural, dude. Look at it.
Or maybe. Yeah, could be.
Look, there's nothing there.
Those foundations are gone.
This is the 5th base that he's killing right now, and that's fine. There's no drones here, so if he gets the hatch, cool.
Yeah, but
If
it's
he
like,
doesn't get the hatch, then he's just, yeah, okay.
you know what's going to happen? Hero Spore Crawlers are going to come back to save the day.
The bleeding one shows up again.
The Hero
Heard you
Spore
made 2
Crawler.
more medevacs. Your mistake.
Oh, no. Oh, Braddock.
Ouch, Chihuahua.
You know what's funny, too? All this damage he's taking, none of it was as bad as his own Widowmines to himself.
Yep. Finished off whatever last vestige of an economy he thought he might have had. He's also down 2 whole upgrades, by the way. 3/3 starting for the Zerg before. Right as 2, just +2 armor. No attack.
Yeah. Braddock's had a better time in a game of StarCraft than what he's having right now.
It's been a rough match for him.
It's been a rough day.
Yeah.
He had a laser first.
Okay,
And that was
fine.
over in 10 minutes total.
Yeah, might as well get something done.
Yeah.
There it is. GG. Starbuck is going to knock him out. And we'll get his chance later on in our group here at WCS Winter.
Probably be a rematch with Harstam. And we actually, it's kind of funny because once we called out the curse of groups, and what we're talking about is the guy you knocked down in the lower match coming back and beating you in the decider. It hasn't actually happened in a few of these. The last one that did happen was Skillis, I would say, right? Skillis
Yeah.
knocked somebody down and then ended up losing that decider match, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Also, Harstam's got a match against a laser here, and I'm counting my chickens before they roost. Is what they say? Is that what they say?
Yeah?
I don't know. I don't know what chickens do, and I don't know what roosting is. But
Counting your banelings before they morph. I don't know.
I appreciate you saying something worse than what I said. Anyways,
It's
let's throw it to a commercial break pretty soon here.
Yeah, well, we're going to take a look at the rest of our schedule for our group so far at some point, as we do have Braddock eliminated here, and Starbuck is going to go up to the decider match to face the loser of our next series, which, yeah, as you were saying, Control, it's going to be really good. PvZ that we've got coming up, a Laser versus Hearthstone, two of the top contenders in Europe StarCraft, and should just be a great match. That's going to be coming up next after the break. You're watching the World Championship Series.